You've paid your $5, now let's get into Stick and Puck. And we're back. It's a new year. It's a new episode.
A new Stick and Puck.
New Stick and Puck. What's up, Cody?
Oh man, just hanging out, living life. Got all that holiday stuff out of the way. Now it's time to talk some hockey.
Definitely, dude. Yeah. Before we get into it, how was the holidays and all that, man? How did the last month of 2022 treat you?
Business as usual, man. You know, watching hockey, hanging out with the fam for whatever have you, the holidays that you celebrate, and most of the Beekman clan were sick, so we really didn't do too much. So we just hung out and watched hockey until someone showed up.
Nice, man. Sounds like it was about the same, man. In fact, my family, like parents and all that, we're getting together like at the end of the week.
So you haven't even celebrated this.
Not really, no. I mean, we've kept in touch and seen each other a little bit here and there. Because it was my birthday just recently. And
happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. And so we got together for that and stuff. But my work was busy at the time, so I worked all the holidays. It just happened to be that way. So yeah, it was a quiet Christmas for us.
All those Christmas trees lighting on fire. You gotta go put them out. Yeah,
something like that. But it was good though. It was really good. It was quiet. It was mellow. Sometimes I kind of like it that way, honestly.
Yeah, same. Absolutely.
I'm not really all crazy about the hecticness, or whatever. I think I just made up a word.
The hecticness. Yes.
Hecticness.
That's a new one on me, but yeah, I totally get it. I mean, you never want to just like be running around with like a chicken with your head cut off, and that seems like basically how the holidays go for a lot of people. So when you can find a minute just to kick your feet up, it's nice.
Yeah, exactly, and I think it's more and more that way. That once you get a little older, I suppose, like it's not really so much about the presents anymore or any of that, right? It's just. Yeah, being able to take a little bit of time off and just like reset and hang out with family or whatever. I don't really care if Santa brought me anything, or you know what I mean. It's those days are over, unfortunately. But hey, man, it is what it is.
Hey, every now and then you get surprised, but yeah, I mean, we're here to talk about hockey, so
we're here to talk about hockey. Tell you what, though, man, So we recorded our last episode, right? It was like mid-December, I want to say, or no, early December. Early December.
Really.
And we kind of had already talked about that this might be, the last one of the year,
right?
So to speak. And I completely like put hockey to the side, so to speak. I didn't play in my beer league. I haven't played with those guys for like a solid month now, maybe a bit over. Like I had to just completely put hockey to the side. And I do that a lot, man. I don't know why, but like sometimes I just like I'm not even like playing really, just it's all for fun at this point, but sometimes like even with the podcast and everything else, like hockey can sometimes be a bit too much for me.
Right.
And I need to take a break from it. So I took like a nice little break.
Nice little hiatus.
I didn't really watch much hockey, like here and there. I went to one game, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, here locally. I did that. But other than that, dude, I just completely I didn't read about it. I did nothing. I just took a little break.
Well, I mean, yeah, you always got to think too much of one thing is not is not the best thing. The Swedes have they have a saying. It's called lagom. It's not too much, not too little. You got to have the right amount of stuff.
Right.
Sometimes there's a little too much of whatever have you in your life, and I mean hockey is no different.
Yeah. I think it's healthy though, man, because sometimes because when you come back to it, you're excited about it again.
Oh yeah, and
it's like you get that excitement again, and you want to watch, and like when you read up on stuff, like it's kind of exciting. Oh wow, I missed this and that. Wow, that's interesting.
Oh, that's going on. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But when you're like constantly just like, I don't know, it almost becomes like a job, and I never want hockey to be a job.
No, for real.
I want it to be like fun. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. So you got to tell me about this game you went to, though.
Yeah, I think this was December 15th. Buffalo was in town, obviously playing our team, Colorado. I've mentioned this before. I'm not a native. I'm not from the United States. I've lived in Colorado for a long time now, but beforehand I grew up in Latvia, and that's kind of where my hockey career, quote unquote, started. That being said, it was always important to follow any Latvian player you have, in the NHL or anywhere.
And the Lats are so special too because they are so proud about their own country, their own hockey players, and you are no different.
Yeah, no, and for those that might not know, Zemgus Girgensons, properly in Latvian. He plays for Buffalo. He's played for Buffalo his career, and typically when a native comes in town, I try to jump on some tickets, and what I typically do is I'll rock a Latvia jersey on that specific game, and right when they warm up, I'll always go up to the glass and and
shoot out the Latvia love.
Stand there with the Latvia jersey, because I assume a lot of those guys, I don't think that's a very common thing they get to see. Let's be honest, there's not too many of us out there.
Maybe 2 out of 3 games that they play in a season.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they've seen it before, but like it's not a common thing. Like a guy walking down with a Canada jersey, like
Canada, oh yeah,
right.
I've never seen that before. Or even like a Swede or a Finnish jersey, yeah. It's
way more common.
Yeah.
Way more common. Anyhow, I went down there. He's out there warming up. He's one of the guys that warms up without a helmet, because he's a veteran dude these days.
One of the very few that can do it now, ever since that rule was instated.
And so I'm standing there, and I'm like hitting on the glass a little bit when he likes closer and stuff. For sure noticed me. Wasn't like, whoa, hey, but like, give me like a little bit of like the nod.
The look like, yeah, I see you, bro. Yeah.
And then he, minutes, whatever, go by, and he's getting ready to get off the ice, and he skated up. He skated up, grabbed the puck, and he and he threw me a puck, which was pretty cool.
No, that's awesome.
Pretty cool experience. Anyhow, we took a quick picture with the puck, and there were a bunch of kids around. So, there was like this younger little girl, like right next to me, basically. So after the picture, I was just like, it just felt right to just give the puck to the kid, Now
that's cool because some people, they would just be like, yeah, fuck everybody else. I just got a puck from the guy that I was trying to get a puck from. And then just walk away. But no, you take the extra second to think like, man, this is going to be way more special for this gal to get a puck in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like those kids, man, they've like, today it's like, a lot of them you see now, they do the rock, paper, scissors. They'll give you a pack of candy for a puck, like,
it's my birthday or,
it's way more excited for them. It's a big deal. And it's like, would have been cool to like keep it? Yeah, sure, whatever. But like, I know for that kid, it meant way, way more that than it would have for me. You know what I mean?
I mean, that actually might have cemented her love for hockey, and maybe it has spawned, like, you know, the next Cami Granado. You never know.
Yeah. But it was cool, you know, like, the dad was, like, a row behind us, you know, and he tried to, like, buy me beers and shit because I give her the puck.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, it's fine, man. Like, it's really not that big of a deal, you know?
Well, to her it was.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's
guarantee
cool, and it's more so like I like things like that make me feel much better than actually me getting the puck.
Right,
if that makes sense.
Well, with Gary and Sons, you actually made your connection, which was the point of all of that.
Right.
You know, it was literally you, like a Latvian, a Lat, and another Lat, like making a connection. That was the point of it, you know, like just saying we're out here and, you know, like I see you basically kind of thing, you know, that was the real thing that was going on.
No, for sure. And even like, it's funny, like there's a little backstory too on the whole Zemgus situation. So this was maybe like 8 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
I actually went to another Buffalo game where they played the Avs, and at that time I actually had my cousin and his wife visiting from Latvia, so it was even more of an occasion that was there.
Elvis.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was the very first NHL game ever.
Oh, that's cool.
And it just happened to be that Buffalo was in town, so seeing a native, you know, playing in the NHL and stuff. So we did a similar thing. We got there early. Everyone was rocking Latvia jerseys. They were rocking Latvia jerseys, and I was rocking a Riga Dynamo jersey because I didn't have another one at the time. So I gave them the Latvia jerseys, or my parents did.
Oh, wow.
And I had the Riga Dynamo Ozolin's jersey. Anyhow, like, still, no one sits with a Dynamo Riga jersey in an NHL stand. Same situation, though. We went warm-ups. We went down to the glass. Same situation. He's out there warming up. He noticed us. Same thing. Like, gives us a little bit of a nod. He does his thing. Right before he's about to get off, you know, he grabs a puck. This time, though, so, like, he used a stick to flip the puck over to the glass.
Oh yeah, and that thing, you know, that's just unpredictable as shit anyways.
So, and that's exactly what happened. He launched it, right? So it went over to the glass, and like I reached as high as I could for it, and it still went like way over me. Maybe like a row or two over, and like, as you know, the puck's like flying over my head, I like look behind, right? And there's these two older ladies like having like sitting at their seats having a conversation, and the puck just like perfectly like hits this lady straight into the dome, like perfectly. And at that point, right, is like, I'm not gonna take it.
No, yeah, you gotta
let
that go.
Excuse me, ma'am, I believe you got my property.
Yeah, you just got whacked in the head with this like thing that I've been asking for, and then, yeah, I'm gonna take it from you. Yeah, no,
right,
that's yours. Sorry.
So, I guess from that side I could have been like, I've got 2 pucks from Zemgus, but I didn't. One, the lady kept it. Obviously, I feel like she deserved it because
for sure
she got hit in the dome with it, and then I got this one, and I still gave it away. Anyhow,
it's all about the connection made, though. It really is. It's all about like actually, you know, making a connection, and that's why I always thought, you know, someone signing something was never that big of a deal. I'd rather sit and maybe talk a couple minutes of hockey with you, and I think that's what I'd remember more than you know, just like an autograph or something, you know.
Sure, absolutely, man. Absolutely. No, it's a memory I'll cherish the rest of my life.
No, for sure.
It was cool, and you know, I can't say won't try to do it again, you know? Cuz that's my thing, man. Like, and I'm not just strictly speaking when Buffalo comes to town, when Zemgus is in town, and who knows, this might be his last season. any Latvian players that are out there, like Ellis Merzlikins right now with
Teddy Bluger.
Bluger with Pittsburgh,
Rudolph's,
Rudolph's Balsers, which that's a whole different conversation. I don't know where the hell he's going to be these days, even with Tampa Bay, technically.
Technically, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a great story to lead into the new year, though. I mean, hey, man.
Yeah.
Got another great connection with Zemgus. I mean, that's going to be great.
Yeah, it was very cool. Very cool. It's just like, it's like recognizing your own, so to speak, in a weird way.
And like we said, lads are prideful, lads are, and rightfully so,
Yeah. No, it was fun, man. It was really cool. Really cool.
No, for sure.
Before we get in, this might be a little bit of a longer episode because we got a lot of catching up to do, man. It's been a smidge over a month.
Yeah.
Not even a smidge. It's getting close. It's I mean,
February.
February is right around the corner already. But it is the new year, man.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this podcast, for we started out last year kind of slowly, and then we're like, this is actually kind of fun. Let's make this a thing. And one thing I want to kind of talk to you about, and for our 3 listeners that we have, we kind of, maybe talk to them about, what we kind of want to do with this platform, man. Kind of pushing it and make it a little more exciting.
No, absolutely. I mean, obviously we changed the set a little bit, which is a big move for us because we normally just shoot from the hip. So that was the whole thing. I don't know, man. I just love talking hockey with you, and I think as long as we can do that and continue on and make a little bit more content, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, no, definitely. We definitely have a few ideas behind that we've already talked about, before recording this. One thing is yes, we want to keep recording these podcasts and stuff, which we enjoy doing so much. But on top of that, also we've been talking about doing a little bit of video blogging too.
Yeah, exactly. Like game excursions, kind of like a live reaction to games, if we possibly can.
Yeah, believe it or not, we do a little bit of other fun stuff outside of just doing the hockey podcast. For example, going to the Avs games, and sometimes we have watch parties over in the same cave. So we want to do maybe little vlog videos of that. They're not gonna be long. They're gonna be maybe 10-minute videos. But just kind of of us going to the Avs game or having a party over here, watch party, things like that. Little vlogs and stuff that we tend on posting on the YouTube channel.
And honestly, we'd love to have vlogs from you guys going to your games too, as well. Just to see how maybe life is on a different slight.
No, definitely, yeah. If that's a way of people have ways of doing it, sending it we can share that stuff when we record these videos. We can throw that in too on the YouTube, and yeah, definitely, man. Another thing, that we really want to do is, we've talked about this before. We're Jersey people, and we've got some things brewing up in the collections and stuff. So we're going to be doing more Jersey stuff too. One thing, before on the bench with Beeks, we used to do jerseys
on the bench.
Jerseys on the bench. Something similar to that, not exactly where, we have one person sending a video. We've been considering almost every episode we try to wear something different, so maybe we'll start our episodes with, maybe going over our jerseys.
A little Jersey history kind of thing.
We've been kind of shooting that around, so there's definitely going to be more jerseys. In fact, we got some things in the works. There's jerseys coming in the mail as we speak.
En route.
Yeah, for some new stuff that we're probably going to be rocking here proud very soon.
Very proudly.
So definitely keep an eye out for that. So yeah, no, definitely we'll be having quite a bit of stuff.
Some interesting stuff coming out. So yeah,
2023 should be pretty cool, and especially more so on the YouTube side. I know, obviously people that listen just to the audio, that's still gonna stay the same. But I highly encourage people to shoot over to the YouTube channel and kind of see that side too. It's if you like the audio, I assume you'd love the video as well.
Absolutely.
Especially when we're gonna start throwing all these other snippets, and especially like showing off the jerseys and the vlogs and stuff, going to games and things like that. Yeah.
Either way, we got some exciting stuff in the works, so definitely stay tuned. We're excited to pump it out for you.
Yeah, and before I forget to, we do have a Instagram page now.
Yes, we do. So please like and subscribe so you find out.
It's stick the letter N puck _ POD pod.
Yeah, pod. Yep.
If you're an Instagrammer, and it would be super cool if you click a quick follow. That would kind of get our numbers up, and we can get moving from that point and
properly distribute our podcast here.
Yeah. So, and that's where we'll be now, strictly posting everything that has to do with Stick and Puck Podcast. So, if you guys want to go check that out, I'll throw it here somewhere in the over there, here,
there, here, there, wherever.
What it looks like. Yeah, I think that's all we got. This was kind of like a little bit of a long catching up, but like just a quick updates and things that we have planned, and I hope you guys are excited to see some of that stuff just as much as we're excited to create it
and to release it upon the world. But we do have hockey to talk about.
No, definitely we got some catching up to do. Like I said, I did take a little break, so I am a little behind, but at the same time, I've got up on a good portion of it all too. Real quick, again, as natives, I just want to really quickly hit the Avs. Man, rough is all I can say at the moment. The injuries are just, the injuries have been rough. We've been still dealing with that, and we've definitely seen the consequences from it. At this point, don't get me wrong, still a Avs fan, always will be, but I the back-to-back thought in my head is just so far gone at this point, and I kind of want to get your opinion on it.
Well, as frustrating as it is, I mean, to see the Avs playing like this, I mean, that's how it goes, man. When you've got 5 or 6 of your starters constantly on the IR or missing games due to injuries, that's what's gonna happen, man. And unfortunately, you got to deal with it. Like, nobody feels sorry for the Avalanche, and rightfully so. No. It happens.
But they're the defending champs. No one's gonna feel bad for them. Everyone wants to go out and beat them. I mean, that's definitely a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing, man. Happens to everyone. Happened to Tampa Bay. It's been happening to Tampa Bay. It's happened in Washington, and injuries are just part of the game. You got to work through it, and luckily, we're not as far down as in the standings as you would think. I mean, we're
like 9th, aren't we?
Yeah, we're 2 points out of the final wild card spot in the West. So I mean, we have kept somewhat of a semblance, like at least a little bit of a winning kind of ideal. But it's getting to the point where it's getting bad, man. I mean, we just snapped a 5-game losing streak in Edmonton, and that still even took us to overtime to do so.
Yeah.
But I mean, Edmonton's kind of struggling themselves, but they're still in a playoff spot. We are 2 points behind them right now, so it's that's what happens. You got to fight through it, man. And when the majority of the Colorado Eagles are playing for you, it's kind of hard to.
Well, that's the thing, and that's been the ongoing joke here in Colorado is like, oh, you want to go watch the Colorado Eagles tonight? You know, like because half of the team is the Colorado Eagles because everyone's injured, you know, and it sucks, man. Like you get the excitement of getting some of these guys back, you know, like Nichushkin for example, and then he re-injures himself again, not to his fault or anything, but you know, it's just tough. And I don't know if I mentioned this already in one of the podcasts or not, but I mean, the way I look at it is last season was jacked up because of COVID. We all know that, you know, it technically got extended. I mean, we were wearing tank tops watching the playoffs, you know, and that it shouldn't be that way, right? The season should have been already over by then.
I had a playoff game on my birthday. That's never happened.
Right.
You know?
Right. And that being said, because how far they went, they had a much, much shorter break. And no one's hiding the fact that those boys got beat the fuck up throughout that playoff season.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and when you put all that together, you know, you maybe had a month off where you literally, like, relax, spend time with family, whatever you did, right? And after that, you already had to be back and start preparing for the upcoming season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the break was so short. When some of the other teams, you know, that might not have made the playoffs or fell out quicker or whatnot, got a much longer break. So yeah, you're getting that championship team back, but they're still bruised up, beat up from the playoffs.
And you're looking at a team that's not that has not been known to go past the second round. You know, for the longest time, that was as far as the Avs went in the playoffs, the second round. So no matter what, they've got an extended break compared to these other teams like Tampa Bay, who have gone all the way to the final in the last like 3 out of 4 or 5 years that they've been. You know, that they've been extremely relevant. So it's another thing. It's just like, this is a lot more hockey than these boys have seen in a while.
Definitely. No, 100%. So, again, we don't need to get much more into it, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I still believe they're going to sneak in the playoffs one way or another. You know, I mean, they're not a bad team. Like I said, it's just once we get through these injuries. But then again, yeah, you do get these players back, you know, like someone, for example, like Landeskog, right? Like, he's not, I'll tell you this right now, he's not going to be 100% the day he comes back. The guy's missed how many games at this point, right? Like, it's going to take a while.
Yeah, for what it looks like, it's going to be upwards at least of 50 games of regular season hockey,
right? So
before he comes back. So
anyhow, we'll see where he goes. I'm not seeing the back-to-back, which is fine, whatever. But the bright side to it all is we're still gonna get the same exact team next season again.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we have signed all these contracts. Like, we're not losing these guys, you know. So yeah, it might not be this season. I think we're gonna be a pretty strong contender the following season once again.
And who knows what happens?
And more healed players at that point, I would assume.
And who knows what happens at the trade deadline, man?
We might pick a couple guys up. I mean, there's rumors going around.
Oh, a little Bo Horvat from the Vancouver Canucks wouldn't hurt.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll definitely be on that when time comes. But for now, I want to talk about something. I want to talk about this Iron Man called Kris Letang.
That poor bastard, man.
The last time we met, it was like it just came out like maybe like a few days after we had recorded our last album, or episode.
Album. I like the word album better.
It's nice,
Sounds
right?
way cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But the man has a stroke, and he's back playing hockey 12 days later.
I mean, it speaks for a hockey player, right? Like, I mean, that's been not a hidden thing. Like, hockey players are tough, man.
Yeah,
they can go through some shit and come back. I mean, you know, you see people get stitched up and getting back into the game and stuff. But no, stroke's a whole different story though. That's way different. But I mean, I don't know too much on the whole situation. I do know that he had a stroke already in like 2014.
Right.
And that was due to a hole in his heart.
Yeah, if
I remember,
that he was living with his entire life. Yeah, he was born with like a hole somewhere in his heart that made him way more susceptible to like strokes and such. But apparently, hockey doesn't really worsen that fact. It's basically just playing a numbers game, and he unfortunately had one. I mean, about half a month ago, and but 12 days later.
Oh, that's crazy.
He's back on the ice playing a game.
What's surprising to me that the team doctors or whoever obviously oversaw the situation even let him come back that soon.
And well, that's the thing is that the doctors said, "Dude, you're fine." Playing hockey apparently does not kind of mess with that or anything. It's really just, I guess, the horrible luck of the draw.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. No, it's insane. I mean, I'm happy he's good, right? Like, everything's fine. He's not, you know, there's no huge consequences behind it all or anything like that. I keep hearing, you know, there's one thing that I have on that situation that I saw going around was some people were like blaming again the vaccine or whatever, that had something to do with it.
Honestly, I don't know.
Honestly, I didn't even care to even look into. You just get in the weeds. Some fucking Illuminati type of bullshit is what you get into at that point. My thing is, like, believe what you want to believe. You know, like, I'm not saying I'm pro the vaccine. I'm not saying I'm against it. It's your choice. Everyone can do whatever they want with it. You can think whatever you want with it. You know, how I look at it is like there's obvious history of strokes. You know, like, is there any legitimate facts that you can like, oh yeah, it was because of a vaccine? It's like, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't really care to get into that much of it. You can sit there assume what you want, but I'm not getting into it anymore than that. So
that's far beyond my job description.
I'm not a doctor too, so
for sure. But you know, not only that, but he's got I mean, as soon as he comes back, you know, his dad dies.
Yeah, and it again, you know, it just one thing after another. The guy's just having a tough time. It's been a tough end of the year.
It's been a bit of rough sledding for sure.
Probably still a tough big start of the new year. I mean, my condolences to him, but I know he'll pull through
fully for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, thoughts go out to Kris Letang. We literally just had the IIHF under 20s.
Yeah, that was fun, dude. Again, you know, that was right around the time when I said I had to check myself out.
Right.
However, when you see a native team being part of it, which, you know, the whole situation there too is Latvia was there, and, you know, unfortunately, honestly, God, the truth, the only reason they were there is because of the war that's going on right now, which they were the next team up at that point, right? So, I mean, still cool that they're part of it.
They also avoided relegation, though.
They avoided relegation because they beat Austria, which I hope they did. I mean,
oh yeah, 5-2. That was definitely something that happened.
I had all my trust to that, and I'll be honest. The only games I watched was the Latvia games, and I did not watch a single thing after that.
Right.
That's the only thing I was like, hey, this is like kind of once in a lifetime opportunity to see the U20 kids out of my native country play, and I for sure took full advantage of it.
Well, I mean, and they avoided relegation, so that's good. I mean, obviously Connor Bedard killed everything.
Oh yeah. Everyone was excited about that. I mean, he made records. The kid's just a stud.
But the one thing that I enjoyed, the storyline that I was loving, was Czechia making it to the gold medal game.
Yeah,
against Canada. I honestly probably would not have thought that Czechia would have made it that far.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised at all.
Really?
They were pretty strong the last championships they played. That was just a few months before these. When they're a strong team. No, I wasn't surprised at all.
I gotta tell you, man, Czech hockey it's really starting to build itself a very good reputation.
Definitely.
This goes back when Czechoslovakia was still around.
Yeah.
Back when Slovakia and Czechia were one thing, they were pretty strong. But I mean, once that kind of broke up, it really took them a minute to really start to build, like a positive reputation again. And now we're seeing it. I mean,
no, and I mean, just before there's some greats out of Czechia, obviously, right? We can name a couple that maybe have something to do with, our team here in Colorado. Even for that matter, Slovakia. I mean, they made a huge name for themselves just a little bit ago too, as in the last draft, right? Like hockey's growing in that side of the world, man.
Oh, for sure.
It always has been. It's just,
I think it's really starting to develop as a bit of a powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say there's going to be constant number of players going through. I can say the same for Latvia as well, But those countries have always been pretty decent hockey teams.
Right.
Yeah, you can't compare them to the US's and the Canadas, right? But, kids have always played hard and fought, and it's cool to see. It's exciting.
No, for sure. And I mean, with Yuri Slafkovsky going number 1 in the draft, and then Simon Nemec, which is a Slovakia, like a Czechia player and a Slovakian player, going in the top 3 last year in the draft. That's got to help. I mean, David Pasternak, really kind of just flourishing as an elite NHL player. I mean, that's going to grow the game in Czechia and Slovakia no matter what. No,
for sure. For sure. No, absolutely. But it's, again, like I said, it's cool to see getting some players from that side of the world kind of making a name for them. And it's exciting times. Hockey's so different now from what it was, when we followed our idols, so to speak, right?
Our first wave of hockey love, I guess. This is a different wave, but I mean, it's still such an exciting time because it is becoming more competitive and it is becoming more of a world game.
Oh, for sure.
And there's no reason why you shouldn't like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you've got Jamaica with an IIHF team.
Yeah.
I think it was Zambia, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's hockey in Africa, hockey in Egypt, it's really hockey in Australia, man. It's going all over the place.
No, it's cool, man. It's really cool.
So yeah, you gotta love the growth of the game, and I think with Czechia making it to the the gold medal round here, it proves a little bit more of that too.
100%.
For sure.
100%. What else do we got, man? There's so much going on.
Well, just recently, Marc-Andre Fleury taking a leave of absence.
Yeah, that happened too. Which, man, I got a couple of things to say about that. More so towards the media and stuff, and we can get into the rest of it too. I mean, you go in these headlines these days, right? I mean, that's the first. It's clickbait. You got my attention. Good for you, whoever I clicked on.
For real.
But, everyone made it sound like he was like something like Marc-Andre Fleury takes a leave of absence from the NHL. Basically trying to sound like Marc-Andre Fleury has left the NHL.
Yeah. Flower leaves NHL.
Yeah.
Like, it almost seems so like it's permanent.
Yeah. Let me adjust your headphones, bro.
Yeah, they're kind of falling down.
Well, technical difficulties.
There we go.
Sorry, anyhow, we can get back into this. Yeah, it kind of pissed me off a little bit. You go, obviously, if you didn't know what's going on, you're like, oh my God, Marc-Andre Fleury's living the NHL. And it's literally like Marc-Andre Fleury left to go home for a couple of days because something's going on at home and it needs to take care of it real quick.
Or just a matter of mental health,
I'll be back in 2 games or whatever, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or whenever it was, right?
Probably before this even gets released, he'll be back on the team.
Right. Unless, and things can change, whatever. But regardless, from the information you got, you write articles like that, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're trying to make it sound like this other, Carey Price type of situation,
Or like he lost his mind.
He's leaving the NHL for months and months or whatever, and it's like, that's not the case.
Like, a dude just needs to clear his head, and you're making it sound like he had a complete mental breakdown.
Right. And from that fact on, too, we can talk a little bit about mental health, too. I mean, let's be honest. The game has changed so much over the last, what do you want to say, Cody? 3-5 years, something like that.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, as the years go on, in my opinion, it's faster and faster. And these players are so much more advanced. And we got these fucking Michigans and all this shit that never happened again when we watched hockey. When we watched the Patrick Waghs, the Haydukes, the, Ozos, and,
Yeah.
Those, it's nothing. Today's players are so far advanced than what our idols were back in the day, right?
Oh yeah.
On top of that, I mean, you got the technology of hockey. Can you call it technology? The sticks and stuff. You carbon fiber sticks and stuff. The shots are stronger.
Oh yeah.
The gear is lighter, so that helps with the speed and stuff, right?
Right.
That being said, with all that, we are now more used to seeing these higher scoring games.
Oh, totally.
I mean, it's not so common to see these 5-0 and even higher, or 5 high scoring games.
I mean, just last
very
night,
high scoring games,
8-4.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's no surprise.
Now, you have at the same time as the game's progressing, you still have a little bit of that very, very, very last generation of players that were still part of that whole 2-1, 3-2 games, right?
Oh, 1-0 game. Yeah, it's
and
Marc-Andre is
Marc-Andre Fleury falls into.
Sure.
that scene, right? Now, as a veteran, and it's just like 5 goals and this and that, yeah, I can see how it mentally messes up. Like, goaltending is a tough spot as it is. Yes, you have your whole team or whatever, but at the end of the day, you're there by yourself. You stand there by yourself. Everyone, when the puck comes towards you, everyone watches you. No one gives a shit about all other 10 players on the ice. All eyes are on you.
Oh, yeah.
So, mentally, when you have an off day or whatever it is, and you let those high-scoring games, like, it fucks with you mentally.
And, I got to say, like, the evolution of hockey anyways, you mentioned with all the gear and stuff and just, like, the high intensity of the game, like, evolving, so does the media, You're always in the spotlight no matter what, whether it's on Instagram, freaking Facebook, the hundreds and hundreds of media outlets. And, it's got to weigh on a guy's mind to be just in the media all the time. What's wrong with Marc-Andre this whole year? It's been, what's wrong with the Minnesota Wild and what's wrong with Marc-Andre? That's got to take a toll on your mental health anyways as well.
No, definitely.
So, I mean, this is like basically providing a perfect storm of, the lack of mental health.
No, definitely. And you, not even talking about Marc-Andre Fleury, this has been like across the NHL. If we like talk about goaltenders specifically too, like this is not like only like a Marc-Andre Fleury issue. I mean, we can talk about Carey Price, right? I mean, Carey Price has been dealing with some shit for 2 years, maybe 3 now.
In and out of the substance abuse program. I mean, Carey Price was honestly like the beginning of it, really, where like people were like really started. Not that it wasn't going on before, no,
but with media and everything, like you said, everyone was like, "Oh God, Carey Price this, Carey Price that," right?
Yeah,
and it's like people started paying more attention to it. So you have that, right? You have my native guy, Elvis Merzlikins. He's going through some shit right now.
Oh, yeah.
He like, with passing of Mattis, he, it seems like he's never quite recovered from that. And like,
I don't think he really had a chance to recover from that, honestly.
But the Jackets have been god awful on the defense. Everything about them has been awful. I can't say one positive thing about the team itself, but guess who's easy to blame? The goaltending,
And homeboy's getting
and he's getting railed, on social media and everything, how horrible he is or whatever. So he's dealing with that side of things. Can we even throw Bennington in the mix? I don't know what the hell's going with him.
Oh, yeah.
He lost his mind too, starting last season, with the whole half shit and Kadri. But now the stuff that he's done this season, like, and that, like, same thing, like, these high scoring games and stuff, like, it is messing people up, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. It's the toxicity of the media that adds to it as well.
There's, like, you can see a correlation, right? Like, I mean, it's just, like, again, like I said, it's not one person. Like, you look at these goaltenders, like, it's boom, 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 like, we just named, 3 other ones.
Yeah, right off the
like, similar, like, obviously something's off, right? But the whole Marc-Andre Fleury thing, too, is like, oh, like, apparently after the game, he, like, lashed out and, like, fucking threw his gear and he's whatever in the locker room. That was per some journalist or whatever.
Well, because the man's basically being persecuted right now. There's just so much going on in that man's brain.
Well, yeah, and again, I don't know what's going on at home on his side, but outside of that, even like, as just a player, like, I want to say 99% of the goaltenders, like, they keep themselves at a very, very high standard.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like the quarterback, like they're the last line of defense, and they take that very seriously. And that's like, and when things don't go the way you want to go, like it fucks with you mentally, man. And they're very hard on themselves. They're the worst critics of themselves.
Oh, for sure.
It's all in your head. It's a very, very mental position. And, I didn't play in the NHL, but like even myself as a goaltender, I can totally relate to it.
Oh,
like you're just standing in that crease and you're in your own freaking head
you're a man
the whole
on an
time.
island almost.
And the minute things go bad, it takes, sometimes your mind can take you to some dark places.
Oh, absolutely.
So, anyhow, Marc-Andre Fleury's been a stud. I'm a big fan, always have been. Loved him in Pittsburgh the most,
Naturally.
I just hope the best for him. I hope he's back on Tuesday, like it's been predicted per media or whoever, and everything works out. He'll be good. He'll be good.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really do. I hope everything's going okay, and hope all this sensationalism and clickbait shit can go away. And
Sure.
he can regather his thoughts, his own center, and come back and play some good hockey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. It's been crazy this last month, man. I mean, Mitch Marner going on his 23-game point streak, that was huge.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was probably the best player to do it, because Mitch Marner gets once again in the media, he gets shit on all the time by Toronto media. Like, why isn't he performing more? Why isn't he doing more, especially in the playoffs? And then he goes on a 23-game point streak.
It's crazy to me, man. I think he's like their best player.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I mean, they did the 6-year deal for a reason, right?
I mean, well, with Kyle Dubas, let's just say he's very he's an interesting guy when he's signing long-term deals. I mean, we've got Johnny Tavares, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, all these players on just these incredibly long deals. But that Mitch Marner contract, which a lot of people were giving Dubas a lot of crap for, I mean, I probably would sign that deal 9 times out of 10.
That's what I'm saying. Because what is he? They did it was like a $65 million deal or whatever it was. I think he has one more season left. I think next season.
Yeah,
and it's over.
Yeah.
I think 2023, 24 or whatever
yeah,
whatever it is. I think it's towards the end of that 6-year deal.
Yeah. And now you got all this mishigas about Austin Matthews possibly signing in Arizona, which I don't know how much truth or how much water.
I don't know, man.
Water you can weigh on that one, because who would want to sign in an AZ?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it comes down to the money, if he's just chasing the money, and Arizona has the cash, and he wants to go to Mullet Arena or whatever they're playing, so be it. If he's not there to he's not chasing the cup or anything, he's just wants to cash in as much as he can before he can move on anymore, so be it. But between the two, if I had to choose Matthews or Marner, I'd pick Marner any day.
I think I might go Marner as well. Way more well-rounded. I mean, there's talk about him playing on the D, on the side of defense at some point this year. He was playing D for maybe a game or two. Nothing crazy, but I mean, if you can take one of your best goal scorers and just feel comfortable enough to put him on the D, you've got a well-rounded game in that kid.
Yeah, because he's normal position. He's a right winger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Austin Matthews, obviously he's a hot shot offense guy, but I mean, That's my one complaint about him. Just like Connor McDavid. Like,
Yeah.
where's the defensive game? You know, hockey's a multifaceted game, man. If you want to be the best player in the league, you can't just be good at scoring goals.
No, for sure.
But I mean, Mitch, I think he's got the stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're well-rounded games, so.
He's still a young dude too.
Fully.
He probably has another 3-4 seasons in him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of next season if they'll offer him anything.
Right.
If Toronto's going to offer him anything, you would assume they would at this point, right? I mean, he's putting up points, he's making records, right? Or
I'd be dumb not to.
But hey, man, someone else might pick him up for 2 years or whatever, and do well because of it. So it'll be cool to see.
I wouldn't shy away from a Mitchell Marner in the Colorado Avalanche.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. I think he'd be a great addition if we can afford him. You know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Anywho,
unfortunately, he's probably priced himself out of a lot of teams' budget. So
who knows? He might take a cut. He might take a cut just to get out of Toronto, maybe.
Wow, I'd be surprised. But
who
hey,
knows?
Crazier things have happened for sure.
No, for sure. Well, dude, I don't think we have anything else for now. I'm sure there's going to be a million things that pop up here later, but
that's why we always have another episode.
At one point or another.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, no, I mean, everything's looking pretty good.
Oh, God.
Hopefully we can provide you guys some new content, and just like we said earlier, go check out our new Instagram, Stick and Puck Pod. All you gotta do is pop that in. We'll be right there. You'll see the logo. Yeah. Everything else on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google.
The huge.
And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we can bring you some even more content in the new year.
Yeah. We'll see you in the next one, guys.
Have a good one.
Happy New Year.